Okay, let's get that fired up. And all right, so you probably noticed that I did not put up an additional video this week. I have my time lapse as usual, but I didn't clip the beginning of last week's stream and put it up as its own video to try and hit additional audience. And the reason that didn't happen is because I have a problem, and I don't know exactly what the problem is. I don't know exactly why I have the problem or what I'm supposed to do about it. But I opened up the stream in DaVinci Resolve, and I went to clip out the part that was going to make a regular stream, and I wasn't happy with it. So I felt like I needed to re-record parts of it, and I felt like I needed to get some B-roll, and I felt like I needed to add like some graphics to illustrate stuff, and then I felt like I wasn't making reference to the graphics, and I got so bound up in trying to improve the video that I was clipping out of the stream that I spent 3 days fucking with it and was never happy with it. And finally I just cut my losses, and I went, this is the exact same problem I was having before when I was doing video coaching. And I would just not get anything done and not get anything done and not get anything done because I was spinning my wheels fucking with everything all the time. So, I'm not ready to do that. I'm not sure what I need to do to be ready for that, but I'm not ready. So I'm not going to be doing that, and that's okay. And I should absolutely not be beating myself up about that, or like calling myself names, or feeling like some kind of loser. I absolutely shouldn't. It doesn't stop me, but I shouldn't. I've had this problem for years, and I feel like part of it is that because I have so many years of experience in audio and video editing, I'm not just harshly critical of everything that I do. I'm aware of what I could do to fix it. And because I'm aware of what I could do to fix it, I feel obligated to try. And it's very different from what I'm doing with the art, because if I don't know how to fix something, if I don't know how to make something better, it's fairly easy for me to go, well, I can't do any better than this, and I don't know how to improve it, so fuck it, here you go, let's go ahead and share that, because I gotta share something. But if I know what's wrong, and I know I can fix it, that's kind of, I think that's the problem. I think that because I know how to fix what's wrong, and because I look at what I did, and I look at the video, and I go, well, you know, this part of the video would be better if I know how to make the if happen. Because I know how to make it happen, there's no good reason not to, right? And that's a problem. And I need to somehow internalize that. No, fuck it, get it out there. And I've done that with the streams by never opening them in an editor. But I thought I had the experience and the maturity as a content creator to open my stream in DaVinci Resolve and cut out the piece that I wanted to put in its own video and make it its own video and upload it. And it would not be a big deal, and I would not get bound up in it, and I would not screw everything up and just spin my wheels. But spent 3 days fucking around with the this little 7-minute snippet of the stream, and that's when I cut my losses and said, I still have this problem. I'm not going to try and solve it this week. So I feel kind of crappy about that. But then I decided to jump in and do a piece with a background. I decided to make a background, and that background has wound up being fairly well received on Cara for some reason. It's got over 20 likes last time I checked. That's not a lot of likes. That's not like big success. That's not substantial attention, but it's so much more than I usually get. And it's kind of mind-blowing that I just did this thing. And when I posted it on Cara, people just went, whoa! And I posted the time-lapse. It was my time-lapse for this week. But the time-lapse isn't getting a particularly large amount of attention. It's getting the attention that time-lapses always get, which is to say virtually none, which is pretty much what all of my YouTube videos get, virtually none, which is why I was trying to clip a piece of my stream out and make a shorter video, maybe get a little more attention, a few more subscribers. And that's not wholly fair because I got a couple subscribers over the past week. That's nice. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about this background that I did. Now, as you can kind of see here, let me flip up here to the vector folder. We'll open that up. We'll open the notes. And we'll talk a little bit about what I've got. And the first thing I've got is this schoolhouse. Let's bring up this, the reference. This is a single frame from the anime Another, and you can see all of the different elements in there. You can see that we've got the schoolhouse and the window, and you can see the blue bench, although it's a little more weathered. The trees, you can see the bushes. I kind of pussed out on putting the flowers in them, but that's okay. That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. So anyhow, what I did was I took that school building and I put it over here. And here are the windows, which are a little bit shorter and squatter. And here's that clapboard and the wainscoting, and here's the upper area. And you can see all of these elements are in the reference picture. And here are the bushes, and here's that bench, and here are the trees. And you can also see that throughout all of this, I haven't been slavishly following the reference. I've been doing something a little bit different. And what I started with was this kind of thumbnail that I threw together. And I really sort of liked the look of that thumbnail, but I have decided a couple of things are not great. So we're going to see what we've got here. Wow, we've got... Okay, so we're going to go into landscaping, and this gravel road here. Let me turn on my palette. We'll grab the grass. Now this kind of road here Okay, so where is that? Where is that bush right there? Bush is that bush is in back wall right there. So let's go into background. And we've got kind of a texture over top of that. I'm not liking that texture. So I'm going to get rid of that. So let's use our lasso right here. Let's go around that, and then we'll come up here to the bench layer. We'll delete all of that and see how that does. Okay. So what I want to do here is I think let's speckle this with dark. And I think these bushes should move closer. So let's actually start with the very dark there. And we'll move these up closer and make them somewhat taller. And we'll give them the medium green treatment here. And give them a light green bits right in there. And then we'll come down here and go rid of those shadows there. And let's start with the shadow then. And get the shadow over there. And we'll get the dark green along the side there, up underneath, the medium green through the middle, and then we'll do the light green over top of that. Okay, now we've got our kind of roadmap, so let's do the same thing there. That's not dark enough. We'll go a little darker here. That's too dark. There we go. Then we'll do the dark green again. Not this tall, not this wide. Go to our medium green. That in there. Looks like we've got something up over top of this from sloppy layer management. So let's find out what that is. Okay, so we've got there's some background and there's some ground and there's some bench. Let's come in here at bench. We'll see if we can't just erase that. Oh yeah, that's okay there. So erase that area in the bench. And we got these two little guys right here, and we'll speckle in on the ground. Plain old medium green to cover up that shadow. And now to kind of clarify what's going on here, I felt like the gravel path didn't read very well. And because I felt like I didn't read very well, I decided to just kind of remove it. So there's that. First of all, let's speed that up a little bit, and let's clean up our outline a little. There we go. So I've moved those, and the other thing I want to do is I want to try and get some kind of texture in here. I would like to do those flowers again, or look to put the flowers in there, because I thought about doing that and then I didn't. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's kind of jump in here. We'll use our horsehair brush, and we'll just kind of put it on the landscaping. Okay, so we're going to start off with kind of the central bit, and then we'll come a little over and down, and we'll just sort of now we'll go around the outside. We'll do another layer of petals here. And then using that, we'll go, okay, so bottom, the outside, right in there. Using it of that, and here's inside of that. And then we'll do another layer, petal. And finally, we'll and I don't think I've done a very good job here. Let me pull that back, and we'll go. How do I want to approach this? I don't feel like approaching it I don't feel like that's the right way of approaching it, so let's approach it a little bit differently. Let's start by making ourselves a good solid round area like so, and then we'll use a use this kind of, let's do this and we'll go a little bit darker and deeper, and we'll soft airbrush some shading. Soft airbrush there and there. And how does that look? That looks like shit. I don't know how to paint fucking flowers. What the hell am I doing? Okay, fuck it. I'm not gonna worry about flowers. Okay, anyway, so, okay, so, that fixes the main thing. I wanted to get rid of that. I wanted to get rid of that one little area because, the thing that I was really kind of going for here was composition. And the idea here is, when you first look at this, all right, when you first look at the image, your eye is drawn to the big schoolhouse, okay? It's drawn to this big schoolhouse, and you've got window, and then your eye goes between the windows because that's the way it goes. You go big schoolhouse, window, middle of the windows. And then the next thing you see is this bench. It's the only blue thing in the whole composition. So your eye's here, and now it's drawn down, and it's drawn into this big empty area. And then when it sweeps up, it encounters these two bushes here and it's drawn further up, and that's drawn up by the additional 2 trees, and you come up to the sky and you see these clouds. So that's kind of the flow of everything. There's this flow of the eye, all right? So it's kind of, you see here, 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 and then it sweeps up and along here. Or maybe you see here, here, here. It's probably more like this. It probably goes in that path. But the idea here was that I wanted to kind of catch and guide the eye through all of this. And now that I think about it, putting flowers on these trees would just distract from the path that I want the eye to follow. Now, I might want to put a flower or 2 there and have it go like this. But no, I don't think that would work. The whole kind of, there's a sweep, there's a flow that leads through the piece. I actually feel like there's something approaching a composition. I want more texture on this dirt. I don't know how to do that, but I want more texture there. I would like to put it there, and I'm not going to waste your time trying to do that while you watch. But anyway, yeah, that's this piece got a fair amount of attention on Cara. So this is the most popular piece that I've ever posted, just like as an art piece. I don't know why. I'm kind of confused by it. And I'm kind of feeling my oats as a result of that. So therefore, I was looking at this and I was going, well, maybe I should revisit this lamppost picture. But as I was thinking about it, I went, well, looking at this architectural stuff, I got to thinking back at this crowd piece that I was doing, and the idea here, the idea of what I was trying to do with this, the idea of what I was trying to do with this piece was a bunch of creepy looking people. And I wasn't entirely sure how I wanted them to be creepy looking. But then I was reading Lovecraft and I came over that famous line in The Festival. Great holes secretly are digged where earth's pores ought to suffice, and things have learnt to walk that ought to crawl. So I think that, like, if it's worms hanging out of clothes, if there are like all of these suits of clothing out here, but instead of just, if there were all of these suits of clothing out here and it was worms hanging out of the clothes instead of people, I think that would be creepy and fucked up. And really, the thing about this is, this looks more silly and absurd than creepy, but I really want to give it a creepy look, kind of like, I was looking at a lot of Mark Powell's sculpture this week, and I really got to thinking his Dream Diorama 3, The Dark Side of Me, which is like this humanoid creature made of meat. And the head is just like this long coil of raw meat. And this is really kind of gross and off-putting, and that's what I want. I want gross and off-putting and creepy and fucked up. That's kind of the thing that I'm looking for there. So I want to do some work on getting these guys into position, and I also want to work on doing a city street. Like, I'm not sure exactly what I want to do, but like something like this. I mean, I'm looking for kind of a street level view. Maybe like this kind of thing. This is a picture taken from inside of a window, obviously, but like this sort of, wow, But if I had kind of a look down a street kind of like that, I kind of like the idea of the sameness of the buildings running down the street. But I'm not too crazy about that style of buildings. I want to have something that's more modern, more blocky, and I do want that sameness as you go down the street. But I'm not sure exactly how to pursue that. Something maybe like this. I kind of like this the scaffolding hanging down. I like the sort of gray bits here. But these are pictures of Boston. I also got some pictures of DC. And this is a church out in Southeast DC. And I was thinking maybe if there was a church there, as though maybe they're coming out of the church. And then there's this, which is like the chain link fence all the way along it, and the shabby, battered nature of everything. And then I was thinking, maybe a back alley of some sort. Something less trafficked and traveled, something more like this, where you've got the area over here. You got this area over in this spot. That's a staircase that leads down into an apartment of some sort. And there may or may not be graffiti in the picture that I do. But I'm thinking about this, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, what are my options on this? This is the kind of thing that I'm looking for here. It's this kind of sameness. But it's also got all of these bricks. And brick textures are kind of difficult. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but this sort of, if we flipped that and maybe remove the power pylon out in front, then that would be the kind of thing that I'm looking for, that'd be sort of behind this crowd. But we've got it up on kind of this hill. I don't want it to have a hill. Well, I mean, it could. No, I don't want it to have a hill. God, these stairs. I did so many stair alleys over these things. I think they're dumb, but there's only so much stuff that you can do to skate in DC. This sort of old rusted chain link fence. This area alongside with the drainage area, there'd be a little culvert under there. You can't really see it, okay? But inside of here, there would be a pipe, and that would be for drainage and for runoff, and that would run off down here. And you can see from the way this is eroded here, that the water comes down here, and it gets caught on this grass and pulled over, and then it runs down here into the gutter. And that's kind of the way that ends up fitting together. So I like that look, but I don't know that I like the brick. I think the kind of 2 windows, division, 2 windows, maybe that works. So like window, division, then window. I don't know. It's I want it to feel like you're kind of in an area of town that you don't want to be in, where there's a creepiness, where there's a sameness to it and there's a creepiness and you don't belong. And there's this crowd that's just kind of like, their attention is turning toward you. They're not all looking at you, but some of them are. And you know that the rest of them will be soon. That's sort of the thing that I'm going for there, is to have that kind of, have this to have the kind of crowd and then you've got these kind of worm guys are wandering around. And it's, one of the things that I think makes them creepy is that the head doesn't come up that much over the collar. So it's like you've got the collar like right here. And it just kind of comes out and immediately starts drooping over. So it just kind of hangs down. And I suppose I should have like some of them wearing more casual outfits. But just that whole sort of, just this end of a worm that is kind of coming out where the neck belongs and drooping over, I think that's really creepy and fucked up. And that's kind of the direction I want to take this. I also want to do a sort of, I want to have this thing where their arms are like the wrong length. Like the hand should really be coming down to here, but it's just like the end of a worm that's coming out. And I was thinking about maybe doing a kind of multiple worms thing. Where there's like a sort of knot of worms that comes out the end. Maybe they're all going out in lots of different directions. That might be an interesting thing to do. And I'm sort of, I want to come back to this because I feel like I have the skill to do this picture justice. I feel like I can draw the side of a building. I feel like I can make the side of a building look like the side of a building. And if I can make the side of a building look like the side of a building, and I make a person look like a person, then this is just sides of buildings and people. So I feel like that's a thing that I can pursue. And also I want to try and get better at making things look like this sort of raw meat texture. Because this is a texture I expect to do a lot of. I mean, look at that. Look at this over here. They've got the where we've got this sort of look at how we've got this sort of sweeping area here and these individual strands and tendrils. and that sort of pocket in there where you can see the inside of that. And you can see that everything's just sort of stranded and knotted in on itself. And this is really the sort of thing that captivates me, the kind of thing that makes me want to, the kind of thing that I want to portray, you know, is just this kind of, I have these weird sort of nightmare visions that I want to put into, circulation. Like the whole blood and guts and gore and horror thing, that's really where I'm pushing with a lot of this stuff. And this crowd image, I think, is kind of a push into that uncanny, weird sort of space. And I'm starting to feel like this is something I can start to reach for, is to like put out these ideas that I've got. And maybe it is time for me to go back to the lamppost picture and try to improve more of it. But I'm liking the idea of revisiting this crowd. And that I let ideas percolate. I've got these ideas that percolate in my head, and they continue to percolate in my head for just like weeks and months and years. And this one has been percolating since, when did I do this? When did I do this crowd thingy? I did it on stream, but, was it? That was, yeah, that was about 1.5 years ago. It was April of 2023. So, yeah. It's closing up on 1.5 years. It's like 1 year and 4 months. But I let these things percolate, and eventually they just kind of, they bubble up to the top, and I go, yeah, I can do this now. And I don't know, I feel like this is something I could probably do at this point. So maybe I want to try to pursue that. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably work on this over the course of the next week. It may become my next, time lapse. Who knows? I need to slow down on my shit and try to like do a better job. Like I did this schoolhouse picture in 2 days. And you know, it was only like an hour or two a day. But I feel like I could have done a better job. I took longer on it. I'm also kind of feeling like it doesn't have a lot of cohesion. Like, these bushes and these trees and this schoolhouse, they don't have a real coherent feel to them. It's not... It doesn't feel like these are all painted by the same artist. And the same way with the clouds, you know? I mean, the clouds look a little out of place. So I feel like something needs to be done to unify all of this. Like, I can paint bushes and trees, but when I paint bushes and trees and I put the bushes and trees next to something else that I painted, it doesn't look like I painted all of the stuff. It just doesn't feel right, you know? So I need to put more time in on stuff, and I need to invest more effort in rendering. Maybe that's what I need to do with editing shorter videos too. Maybe what I need to do is just resign myself to taking my time with it instead of trying to get it done fast. I don't know. We're already at 40 minutes. It doesn't feel like 40 minutes. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff I could do to improve this particular piece too. Like, I don't have any shading whatsoever on the schoolhouse, and I should really like here I should be I should really have some shading along the side here. Should be some shading on this side and on the bottom there. Shading here. Shading here. Should be shading on these too. Like right about right there. Along the left and along the bottom. And just that little bit. Doesn't even take a lot of time. But just that little bit of effort on that. And then let's clean that up a little. Oh. Actually missing a board there. And just that little bit, it's a big improvement, you know? Obviously, I didn't spend anywhere near as much time as I needed to on the cross pieces of the window, but yeah, that kind of thing. That's stuff I need to jump into this and do. I need to do a better job on the individual elements. I mean, I spent probably on this bench, I spent like 3 hours working on that bench and its shadow, trying to get the perspective right, trying to make it look like it fit there. And I think I did a fairly good job. So I need to spend time more like that on everything. And I need to do more rendering on the boards. I need to figure out a better way to do trees. Maybe less speckling. Maybe more speckling on the more speckling on that. Bigger and smaller. So there should be large speckles here and smaller ones as you get farther away. Maybe that, give it more texture, make it feel more a little bit more accurate in terms of maybe something in a more grayish. And saturate a bit more. Up in here. I don't know, that doesn't feel like I'm doing any good, really. I do a lot of that, just like, let's see if this works, and then it doesn't, and I don't know what I should do to fix it. Maybe if I pull out the blender and get fairly large with it. Let's stay fairly small with it. We go to the landscaping layer. Where all of the speckling I just did is, and just kind of smooth it out a little bit. I don't know. I don't feel like that's improving it either. Yeah, I'm just screwing it up at this point. I don't know. God. I have no what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing on half of this shit, and it's very frustrating. I need to figure out how to paint dirt, and I need to figure out how to paint grass. Those are important. Maybe I'm going to work on this crowd thing this week. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much where things are. I'm not anywhere near as despondent as I may sound. I am frustrated by my inability to do things better than I've done, but at the same time, I feel like I did pretty good on it. I feel this is pretty good. You know, and I don't know. Overworking an area of your painting, every painter has done that. Okay, that's totally a thing. This is digital. I can work it again and again and again and again, and whenever I know what I'm doing, I can come back and fix it, which is exactly what I did with the crowd piece and exactly what I did with the lamppost piece. And that's exactly what I'm thinking with this worm thing and with looking at Mark Powell's work. I'm thinking about that. You can always go back and work on that stuff, and I'm going to go back and work on that stuff. And I think I am going to attack this crowd piece again and see what I can do in terms of making it more what my original vision was. But yeah, that's where we are. That's how things are fitting together. Okay, bye.